अभी चालू है। जब तक खत्म नहीं हो जाता। क्या यार। हरे कृष्णा हरे कृष्णा हरे राम हरे राम हरे कृष्णा हरे कृष्णा हरे राम हरे कृष्णा जय राधा गोपी जय राधा
Yeah, actually, is it better now? Prita Mata is better. I think. Can you hear me?
Yes, Rosie.
Can you hear me?
Yes, Rosie.
Can you hear? Yeah, okay. So let's first recite the prayers. ॐ ज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपकदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकम् वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरु श्रीयुतापदकमलं श्रीगुरून् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं सतं सहगण रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधा कृष्णपादान् सहगण ललिता श्री विशाखान्वितांश्च हे कृष्ण करुणा सिन्धो दीनबन्धो जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिकान्त राधाकान्त नमोऽस्तुते तप्तकाञ्चन गौराङ्गी राधे वृन्दावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यः एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः श्रीकृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासदि गौर भक्तवृंद हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे हरे राम राम हरे हरे मुखं करोति वाचालं पङ्गुं लङ्घयते गिरिं यत्कृपातमं वन्दे श्रीगुरुं दीनतारिणं परमानन्दमाधवं श्रीचैतन्य ईश्वरम् ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Aste yogam samasthaya.
Aste yogam samasthaya.
Sankhyacharyir abhishtutaha.
Sankhyaacharya avishtuta. ये हो गया you disconnect audio from yours भैया बिजी बैठे अभी
Anyways, this is Krishna's way of telling everyone that you should not hear this class. But if you still choose to ignore his inspiration, then it's up to you.
last this is last class of the Canto 3
The last class of Canto 3. Hold on. Asta yogam samastaya.
Aste yogam samasthaya
Sankhyacharir abhishtutaha.
Sankhyaacharya avishtuta
Trayanam api lokanam. Upashanti samahitaha.
Upashante samahita.
Okay. Aste. He remains. Yogam. Yoga. Samastaya. Having practiced Sankhya of the Sankhya philosophy, Acharya, by the great teachers, Abhishtutaha, worshipped, Trayanam, three, Api, certainly, Lokanam, of the worlds, Upashanti, for the deliverance, Samahitaha, fixed in trance. Even now, Kapila Muni is staying there in trance for the deliverance of the conditioned souls in the three worlds. And all the acharyas, great teachers of the system of Sankhya philosophy, are worshipping him. I'll just read through. Etan nigaditam tata yat prishtoham tavanaga kapilasya cha samvado devahutyascha pavanaha. My dear son, since now you have inquired from me, I have answered, O sinless one, the descriptions of Kapiladev and his mother and their activities. O sinless one, the descriptions of Kapiladev and his mother and their activities are the purest of all pure discourses. Ya idam anushrunoti ya yo vidhate Kapila muner matam atma yoga guhyam bhagavati kritadhi suparna deta upalabhate bhagavat padaravindam. The description of the dealings of Kapiladev and his mother are very confidential, and anyone who hears or he reads this narration becomes a devotee of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is carried by Garuda, and he thereafter enters into the abode of the Supreme Lord to engage in the transcendental loving service of the Lord. Purport, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. The narration of Kapiladev and his mother Devahuti is so perfect and transcendental that even if one only hears or reads this description, he achieves the highest perfectional goal of life, for he engages in the loving service of the lotus feet of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. There is no doubt that Devahuti, who had the Supreme Lord as her son and who followed the instructions of Kapiladev so nicely, attained the highest perfection of life. Again, Om Agyanatimirandasya Gyananjana Shalakaya. Chakshurmittamena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha.
Did you read something like that in the
Sorry?
something that in the
Oh yeah, sorry. Thus end the Bhaktivinoda purports of the third canto, 33rd chapter of the Srimad Bhagavatam entitled Activities of Kapila. End of third canto.
yeah.
Please forgive me for the sound effects. My body is made of simple activities, so please forgive me. Okay, so this is a very, very wonderful conclusion, very hope giving conclusion to the chapter, to the canto, sorry, to the chapter and the canto. So, Srimad Bhagavatam is a very, very important scripture because Srimad Bhagavatam actually speaks about the highest truth, the highest aspect of the personality of Godhead, and that is His mercy. Actually, that is the most important aspect of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, is the love that He has for His devotees. That is the most attractive part of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So, as much as the Supreme Personality of Godhead is the Supreme Lord, one without a second. Krishnastu Bhagavan Swayam. So Krishna is the Supreme Lord, and Krishna is supreme in his enjoyment. As much as this is true, more than this truth is the fact that Krishna is constantly meditating and constantly working to give pleasure to his devotees, constantly serving his devotees. We often speak about how Krishna is served. Lakshmi Sahasrasata Sambrama Sevyamanam. Lakshmi Sahasrasata. It is true that Govinda is being served by millions and millions of gopis, millions and millions of gopis. So in the same way, it is true that he is also serving millions and millions of gopis and gopas, and Krishna even personally takes care of the creepers, the grass, uh, the waterfalls in Vraja. Even sometimes Krishna's mother, the elderly gopis, they chastise Krishna, they lovingly chastise Krishna, because Krishna is the most, quote unquote, according to our understanding, he is the most unconventional kind of person. I'll come back to this point later in today's discussion. But Krishna constantly serves his pure devotees. So Krishna's love for his pure devotees is the most attractive and overwhelming feature of Krishna's personality, and that's how actually Krishna is Krishna. That's why Krishna is supreme. From the very, the most relatable pastimes of Krishna in this world, for most people, is how he participated in Mahabharata. Right? Because why? Because Krishna helped the Pandavas win the war. So just like Krishna helped the Pandavas win the war, Krishna will help me to, become successful at my, job, at my career. So therefore, Krishna and Mahabharata is very attractive to me. That's why people purchase Krishna. So even Mahabharata, even and Krishna was at that time, Krishna, what he did, Krishna personally, when the horses, Arjun's horses became tired out of exhaustion, Krishna personally got down from the chariot, and Krishna uh, took the horses to body of water, and Krishna personally fed the horses water. So Krishna didn't have to do that, but Krishna showed by his own example that how much he's eager to serve his pure devotees. So um, in the same way, Krishna constantly is meditating and serving all of his pure devotees. That is Krishna's activities in the spiritual world. So we have to be constantly attracted by this aspect of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and that is the real existence of the pure devotee. The real existence of the pure devotee, the pran, the real pran, the life and soul of a pure devotee is surrender to the Supreme Lord. But what is the essence? What is the life of that surrender? The life of that surrender is the firm Krishna always reciprocates with his pure devotees. So that is the life and soul of the surrender of the pure devotees of the Lord. So for pure devotees to exist, they have to have this constant, um, unflinching unflinching faith that Krishna is always there for me. So now coming back to the point of discussion, that how Lord Kapila um, is constantly there performing austerities in trance for the deliverance of all the fallen conditioned souls. So very wonderful insight from this is how Srila Bhaktivinoda Saraswati Thakur, he chanted so many lakhs of names for the deliverance of the fallen conditioned souls, and then after that we are reaping the benefit. So it's only by the prayers of the great souls that we actually make advancement in devotional service. So the great acharyas, the great teachers are constantly praying for us, whether they may be manifest or unmanifest. They're constantly praying for us, and the way they are praying, the mood they are praying, is what we are actually living on right now. That is the life of our devotional service. So, uh, the next verse is very, very important, also 36th verse, that as you have inquired from me, I have answered. So, bhakti is about how we ask the question, how we ask the question, which means how we render the service, in what mood we render the service. So the more and more we come deeper and deeper into Krishna consciousness, we understand that our mood has to be refined, more and more and more, more and more and more. And the essence of the mood of pure devotional service is the eagerness, is the intense eagerness to give pleasure to the Lord. Anya Vilashita Shunyam. Srila Rupa Goswami is saying that one must avoid all other jnana yoga, karma yoga, ashtanga yoga. Uh, that's the first part of the verse. The second part of the verse is anukulyena krishnanushilanam. So Rupa Goswami says that very important. Now, of these two aspects of pure devotional service, the first anya bilashita shunyam is actually the tatastha lakshana. Tatastha lakshana means a secondary aspect of pure devotion. The secondary aspect of pure devotion is that we should avoid jnana, karma, all these things. But the primary, the life force of pure devotion is what? Is anukulyena krishnanushilanam, is doing things which are favorable to Krishna. And of the two, Anukulena Krishnanushilanam, most important is actually Krishnanushilanam, which means to follow in the footsteps of those who have pleased Krishna, who have, and that is the essence in both the practicing and the perfect stage. In the practicing stage, we follow the instructions of the pure devotees, and in the perfect stage, as a ragatmika, as a eternal associate of the Lord, we will follow in the footsteps of the mood of the personality whom we are serving under. So we follow in the footsteps of the personality whom we are serving under, as a pure devotee, as an eternally liberated associate of the Lord when we go back to Godhead. So it's very important for us to focus on this point, on how we can please the pure devotees. And that is the primary aspect of pure devotion. And in the last verse of the third canto, it's being mentioned. First is the description of the dealings is very confidential. So we will go deeper into this today. And anyone who hears this is so, hears this means what? Experiences the confidential dealings. Such a person, he becomes a devotee, and when he takes that mood, that the confidential dealings, when he hears that, when he absorbs that, and when he lives that mood, then he actually attains the supreme abode. So, in the last line again, Prabhupada is saying there is no doubt about it. Why there is no doubt? See, when Prabhupada writes, it's Prabhupada writes very, very carefully. So Prabhupada is writing, why is there no doubt that she went back to Godhead? Because she followed the instructions of Kapila so nicely. So, mm, but at the same time, Prabhupada is saying the first line that one who just hears or reads, he achieves the highest perfectional goal of life. So that's a great hope giving thing for us, that hearing itself is a perfection. If you keep hearing from a pure devotee again and again and again, you will become a pure devotee. So that is very, very hopeful. But if you continue hearing, you cannot continue hearing unless you practice. Just like the simple example is that, yes, if you just come and take darshan of Krishna, you come and take darshan of Krishna's devotees, pure devotees, you'll go back to Godhead. But the problem is, You cannot keep taking darshan of Krishna, Krishna's pure devotees without rendering service. Like every day, if you come to the temple, you can keep coming to the temple. But if you want to continue coming to the temple, I mean, this is my realization. You have to do some service. Because without Krishna's mercy, you cannot come to the temple. So, in the same way, you cannot remain a passive observer. So, so anyhow, so we'll go to the crux of today's purport, and that is the first thing, very important thing that we should have very clear in our mind is that this Amarendra Prabhu one time mentioned that yes, we should maintain the most insignificant kind of humility, but at the same time, we should aspire for the highest. Like Gokumar in Brihad Bhagavatamrita, although he acknowledged, you know, that he is most, I mean, acknowledged that Vaikuntha is wonderful, Dwarka is wonderful, Ayodhya is wonderful, but until he reached Vrindavan, his heart was not satisfied. So, when a devotee and a disciple hears from Guru, he has to understand what is the substance, what is the essence of what the Guru is trying to say. You know, because otherwise, if you don't understand the essence, the substance of what Guru is saying, then it's very easy to become distracted by the external descriptions, the external, kind of uh, details that Guru is giving. So, like for example, in Bhagavad Gita, Prabhupada says somewhere in Bhagavad Gita, one person quoted to me one time that how Prabhupada says in a purport to some one particular verse of Bhagavad Gita that how everyone should enter into Grahastha life. I mean, Prabhupada is purporting to a particular, in the 18th chapter or something, Prabhupada is saying. So one person, one devotee actually was referring that purport to me long before that how everyone should get married, etc., etc. But actually, that course, that Mataji is very exalted. But I mean, the point is that this is an external aspect. This is just an external aspect. Like Prabhupada told so many external things when he was here, that how, you should be a good person, even, you should be attached to, varnashram, should perform your duty. So these are all external aspects, of what Prabhupada came to give us. But what is the essential aspect? What is the substance of what Prabhupada came to give? The substance, the essence is to attain full-blown love of Godhead. That is the essence of all of Prabhupada's purpose. So that's why Sri Chaitanya Manobhishtam, we have to understand the Manobhishtam, which means what is the mood actually? What is the innermost desire of the heart? And that's why it's very important for us in the beginning of our devotional life. It's very important for us, and it's very important for us to give others also this understanding that what is the essence of Gurudev's teaching? What is the essence of Prabhupada's teaching? What is the essence of the previous Acharya's teachings? And the first business is to understand and then to make our heart one with their heart. Vishram Bena Guru Seva. This is the most important principle in bhakti. Without this, you cannot start bhakti. You cannot start devotional service unless you make your heart one with the heart of a liberated soul, of a great soul. For one who has that kind of vision, for one who has that kind of mercy, just by hearing Prabhupada's Jayarada Madhav is enough for him to understand Prabhupada's position. It's enough. Even before Prabhupada speaking, it's very easy to understand. It's very, very quickly you'll grasp. So we have to teach that. We have to, that's what preaching is. Preaching is actually to share that kind of faith. Everyone has faith in Krishna, everyone has faith in Prabhupada. Many people have faith in Prabhupada, but what kind of faith do you want to give people? Right? On what basis do you want to have faith in Prabhupada? Do you want to have faith in Prabhupada because the Guru, because the sannyasi, because he's an old Indian person, or do you want to give that faith in Prabhupada because Prabhupada is an eternal associate of the Lord? So, of course, we get that kind of faith, we get that kind of realization from the heart of pure devotees, and we also want to give that faith to others. Mhm. And then always look at Srila Prabhupada, look at Guru from that angle of vision. This is very important, very, very important. Because otherwise, when we're hearing Guru and we're hearing Prabhupada, it's very easy to become distracted by the external or secondary aspects that they're speaking about. Because every lecture of Srila Prabhupada, every purport of Srila Prabhupada, His Holiness Shivaran Maharaj explains that it is written for different categories of people. It carries different messages. So, just like the famous example that when Krishna played the flute, it was like a private telephone call that everyone heard that same flute of Krishna in a different way. Or even more amazing is how that when Mother Yashoda used to see Krishna, she used to see, oh, this is my young boy. When the friends of Krishna used to see Krishna, they said, oh, this is our friend. And when um, the damsels of Rajabhumi used to see Krishna, they say, "Oh, this is our dear lover." So, so it is also explained very astonishingly that they all saw Krishna in different age. Like Mother Yashoda saw the same Krishna as a young baby boy, and um, the damsels of Rajabhumi, they saw Krishna as a young dashing lover, and and the friends of Krishna saw Krishna as like their friend. So from the description, a baby boy and a dashing lover is look very different in our mind, but that is the astonishing aspect of Krishna's personality. So in the same way, the same purport, the same lecture, the same kirtan of Guru, according to our faith, according to our faith, according to our association, it actually carries different kinds of meaning. So, although we may not always be in that consciousness, although we may not always be realized, but still, according to our faith, according to the experience that we had, because for sure we may not always be in that consciousness, but we should always keep that experience, always keep that understanding, keep that faith very deep in our remembrance, and always understand that's who actually Guru is, that's who Krishna is, that's who the Vaishnavas are. Mhm. And we should always try to work towards that level of faith, work towards that level of experience. Mhm. Um, so, our philosophy is Prema vina vyartha daridra jivan. That without love of God, this jivan is completely useless. And dasa kari vetan mori. We are servant for only for one purpose. Deho prema dhan. Prema bhakti java hoite avidya vinasha jate. So basically, um, today we're going to discuss about the pastimes of pure devotees, because the essence of our perfection as sadhakas lies in understanding the mood of our previous acharyas. One time a devotee asked my spiritual master that what is pure devotion? How do you describe what is pure devotional service? Like, can you please describe pure devotional service? And my spiritual master said, no, I cannot describe. It's difficult to describe it. When it's difficult to describe, but when you get the mercy of the previous acharyas, you will understand. So that is a secret Maharaj is mentioning. When you get the mercy of the previous, what is the mercy of previous acharyas? When their mood actually descends in our heart. Hmm. So, Narottam Das Thakur, before he accepted Lokanath Goswami, how much love he had for Guru, how much nishta he had for Guru. Just see, Lokanath Goswami was one of the most renounced and internal, devotees. One of the most actually in Mahaprabhu's, in Mahaprabhu's entourage. Actually, Lokanath Goswami, it is explained that whenever Narottam Das Thakur approached him for initiation, he would look at him like, some extraterrestrial creature was actually, talking to him. He's completely disinterested and disgusted. Yeah. Just like, I mean, you know, forgive me for this example, but Gaurkishore Babaji Maharaj, when, you know, people would come to him and say, Maharaj, how can we serve you? So, and forgive me, but he would take two buckets and he would say, yes, you can pass stool in these two buckets and you come and you can offer those buckets to me. So that was, how renounced they were. It's like they're like, Maharaj, don't speak like this. Maharaj Maharaj is like, yes, that's if you do that, I'll be very pleased. And then Maharaj will say, they say, Maharaj, please come to our home, please come to our home. Except he said, yes, sure, but only one condition. If you come to our home, I only stay in the bathroom. Those days, the bathroom was not like, nowadays in America, you see bathrooms are air conditioned and, smell. Even the bathroom, they put the smell and music. Those days bathrooms were real bathrooms. So, anyway, this was a level of how disinterested they were, especially on this Dhanam, Janam, and I was completely disinterested. So, okay, forgive me for the example, but just, just as a, it's how renounced our acharyas were. So, that is Lokanath Goswami is completely disinterested. He would perform, parikrama of, you know, Kishori Kund, and he would uh, he would always remember the glories of the Lord. He would sing the glories of the Lord, and Narottam would become so, uh, you know, heartbroken. What Narottam used to do is Narottam understood that, my Guru Maharaj is not going to listen to what I have to say, so there's only one option. So he would start crying very piteously. And Narottam Das Thakur understood that how, the eternal associate of the Lord were present there. So he would cry and he would wet the ground of Raja with his tears. And actually, this is what we should be doing when we go to Vrindavan. If we have the opportunity to go to Vrindavan, go to Mayapur, is what we should be doing actually. So we should have full faith that the eternal associates of the Lord are there, and we should beg for their mercy. So in that way, as he was begging for their mercy, Radharani actually appeared to the in the dream of Lokanath Goswami, and Radharani forced Lokanath Goswami that why you're so hard-hearted, why you're so hard-hearted, why you're not giving Lokanath Goswami, I mean, to Narottam Das Thakur your mercy, and in that way, Lokanath Goswami accepted Narottam Das Thakur. And Narottam Das Thakur, after, of course, he became a guru, etc., etc. His songs, Narottam Das Thakur's songs, Prem Bhakti Chandrika, they are the life and force of our Gaudiya Vaishnava literature. You see many places Prabhupada quotes those songs actually, and we can understand that how Narottam Das Thakur fully exhibited, fully understood and imbibed the mood of Lokanath Goswami. So, from this we can understand that what it really means. Uh, unless we become so desperate and so serious for Guru's mercy in our life, it is not possible for us to actually uh, get his full mercy, his full mercy. And many pastimes are there of how Narottam Das Thakur, how he preached and how he converted. I mean, how, sorry, not converted, how he transformed the hearts of so many people. But Narottam Das Thakur's faith in his spiritual master also in another pastime was tested. And one time Narottam Das Thakur's disciple actually, this is very real because the pure devotees, uh, their real mercy, their real substance in their heart is shown by their disciples. So Narottam Das Thakur, one of his disciples, Krishna Das, this disciple was actually tortured and was, starved to death practically. And even in that condition, when that disciple was offered by his father, some way to bribe his way out of prison, and his father actually sent, a black tantric, you know, to actually get him out, and he asked him to chant a mantra of Mother Durga. He was in life or death condition, but that, Krishna Das, the disciple Narottam Das Thakur, even in that dying condition, said that I will die, let me go to hell, I don't care, but I will never ever chant any other mantra except the mantra given by my spiritual master. So this is very instructive that how much we are holding on to the instruction of our guru as our life and soul, and how much we are resorting to other kind of methods of gyan, yoga, or anything, for our subsistence. So the more we hang on to the spiritual, to the service and the instructions of our guru as our life and soul, naturally we'll be able to gain more realization, not just theoretical but practical experience we will get when we hold on to the instruction given by our guru as our life and soul. Hmm. And then the next example we see of this Manobhishta. So as I explained that how Narottam Das Thakur, because he maintained that kind of intense faith and intense mood of crying, mood of begging mercy from his guru. So all the moods of his guru was revealed in his heart, and he poured those moods out in the form of Prem Bhakti Chandrika and Prarthana. So we see that Narottam. And then Krishna's Kaviraj Goswami. Krishna's Kaviraj Goswami, how is even more wonderful. Krishna's Kaviraj Goswami, when he came to Vrindavan, he was the crest jewel of all the Vaishnavas, means he gained the mercy of all the devotees. And on the order of all the devotees, he actually wrote Chaitanya Charitamrita. And of course, Madan Mohan's garland fell on him. So Madan Mohan gave his mercy full mercy to Kaviraj Goswami. And then Kaviraj Goswami wrote, and how he wrote Chaitanya Charitamrita, it's explained he wrote like a wooden doll. Like can a wooden doll write? No, it cannot write. So it's practically impossible for someone uh, with a shaking hand, and at that age, Kaviraj Goswami is explained he was almost blind. So if you are almost blind and your hand is shaking, what to speak of writing Chaitanya Charitamrita? You cannot even write a word properly. Like if you write a word, sometimes just close your eyes and try to write something with a shaking hand. Make your hand shake. Nobody will be able to understand what you wrote. So in that condition, he wrote, means that is the power of the blessings of the devotees. When you please the devotees, you can do astonishing things. You can do astonishing things. And of course, the last example is Saraswati Thakur. How Saraswati Thakur, how he was ready to give up his life, and he was actually ready to give up his life. It's not just speaking, and that's when Babaji Maharaj gave him initiation, and then we see what Saraswati Thakur did, which is, inconceivable. So the thing is, dadati pratigrahnati guhyam akhyati prichhati bhukte bhojete cheva shadvidam priti lakshanam. So the essence of all the six loving exchanges with the Guru is, or with pure devotees, is to hear their confidential realizations, their confidential experiences of the Supreme Lord. This is the essence of mercy. This is the essence of following their footsteps. And this hearing their confidential realizations in Krishna consciousness um, is the only way we can understand their manobhishta. So we should always pray and cry to understand the manobhishta, the deep mood of Guru, the deep mood of the pure devotees. And this will come by striving to follow the instruction, by striving to hear, striving to surrender to them. And when that mood becomes manifest in our heart very deeply, and then when we become inspired by that mood, to by that mood, and then we draw inspiration and we apply that mood, then we can actually attain the perfection. So this is what I would like to speak today. Anyone has any question or comment?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Dhandavat Pranam. I don't have any questions, Prabhu, but I'm really grateful to you for emphasizing on imbibing the heart of a guru and actually following their footsteps, understanding their mood, and actually doing that. You gave so many wonderful examples about that. Thank you so much, especially bringing in Narottam Das Thakur's example. Thank you, Prabhuji.
Anyone else has any question or comment? Okay, nobody has any question or comment. We'll end here. Vancha Kalpatru Bhishya Kripa Sindhu Bhaya